Number 2 is a similar problem to the first one. The only difference here is that we'll notice a difference in the wording here. And it is that word difference, right? So difference means to subtract. So you'll notice that in between our two boxes here, there's a minus sign. Same idea though, we're trying to figure out, from our little menu here, what numbers could we put in the boxes that would give us a -8. So maybe just kind of starting to think about numbers that maybe would add or subtract to a -8. And one thing that may jump out to you is you might be thinking, well, how about 6 and -2? Well, 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. One thing to watch out for here, though, is that if we have a minus and then the number that comes after that is also then a negative number, what happens is that becomes one big plus sign, and so that really becomes +6 plus a +2, which would give us a +8. Well, we're looking for a -8, so that won't work for us in that case. Let's say we tried another number. I'm thinking maybe 7 and 1. 7 and 1 add up to 8. If I put, but then I've got more negatives, so I'm thinking if I said -1 minus 7, would that give me a -8? Well, if I was at -1, and I'm actually on this one I'm going to start with the number line. So if I was at -1, and then the minus sign tells me that I'm going to the left, right? A positive, a plus would tell me to go to the right. A negative sign tells me to go to the left. So this says start at -1 and then go to the left 7 spaces. So if I went to the left 7 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yep, there I am. I'm at -8, right? So this was going left 7. Right? A couple different ways we could have shown that as well. If I had one negative and then I've got 7 negatives, then I've got a total of 8 negatives. If we thought about a scoreboard, that says that the negatives score 1, the negatives score 7 more, so that means the negatives win, and they win by 8. If I thought about my rule, same signs add and keep. Same signs add and keep, right? So same signs, because I've got a negative, and you might wonder, like, oh, but I thought that was a positive. Well, what ends up happening is that subtraction really turns into addition of an opposite there. So think of that really kind of as becoming a -7. So if I have 1 negative and 7 negatives, now I've got a total of 8 negatives. There was another possibility that we could have done on this one. So our other explanation here could have been same signs add and keep. Which was the reason for our answer. We did want to notice if there was one other possibility that we could have done on this one. Maybe in a similar way, if I would have said, how about -2 and 6? So if I did a -2 minus 6, that would actually also give me a -8, right? Because had I started at -2, and then I went 6 steps to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I also would find myself at -8. Another way, again, too, to think of that is that had I done written that out, 2 negatives, 6 more negatives, give me 8 negatives. If I wanted to think of a scoreboard, negative score 2, negative score 6, that means a negative score total of 8, right? So again, I promise you not to confuse you, but we just want you to see there's a couple different ways that you can think about this, right? All right, so go ahead and pause now and try 2.2 on the right side.